Hey, look at the gorgeous sky behind me and the tree. I don't know the name of the tree. Ray is the expert in that department. How are you? That's Scooby barking in the background. So, I had some stuff come up this week and I wanted to share it with you. And, I'm always talking to my guides, my angels, the universe. Tell me what I need to know. What is it that I could do to improve, to help, to give value? I'm always asking, hey Connie, hey cuz. This is what came through. My message isn't clear, and maybe not everybody knows exactly what I do, and so that's what I wanted to share with you today. So if you don't know me, my name is Denise Dominguez, and I am a transformational coach who specializes in helping women heal after toxic relationships. I generally speak to women who are stuck in this pattern of attracting narcissistic men, like in the dating world. But I help anybody who has been through a toxic relationship. So that could be mom, dad, coworker, boss, anybody. Okay, so if you don't know my story, I'm just going to give you a bullet point because I feel like I repeat this a million times, but clearly it's been shown to me this week that not everybody knows exactly what I do. So my story is that I was in a toxic relationship for over 20 years. So what does toxic mean? Toxic for me, and what I share and what I help women heal, is emotional abuse, mental abuse, financial abuse, psychological abuse, every abuse that you can think of without the physical part, the physical or the sexual part. A lot of gaslighting, manipulation, control, things like that, which I call the silent abuse, because these people are such master manipulators, and they do it so brilliantly that you don't really know what the heck is going on. All of my clients are extremely smart, independent women who got stuck in this relationship, right? So it's not that you're stupid or dumb or you're, I know that's how women feel, especially when they keep repeating this pattern, but it has nothing to do with that. You're brilliant. You're amazing. You are so strong. And hey, Kristen. Hey, Ducky and Christy and Brandy. Thanks for joining me. So that's my backstory. 22 years of being in that toxic relationship. 22 years of being psychologically abused and mentally abused and financially abused and all of that. And finally, after a series of traumas, which the last trauma that was like the icing on the cake was when my then husband had gone crazy again, which led to a hospital visit, psych ward, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And so that's when it sounds kind of cold to hear it, but if you know the back end story, then you realize it was like, whoa, had enough. So yeah, he was in the hospital, and yeah, tubes were coming out of his mouth, and yeah, he was tied down to the hospital bed. And that's when I decided to finally leave him, because of everything that had transpired prior to that. So it was a relief, because when I left, psych ward, there's a lot of common things, Kristen, with these types of people. There's a lot of addiction. So for me, for my story, it was addiction to pills. I hear a lot of women tell me there's addiction to alcohol. Attempted suicides are very common, because you're not, here's the thing. You're not dealing with somebody who's all there. Let's be real about it, right? They're not all there. So that's my story. After all of that abuse, I finally had the courage to leave. And what that looked like was I left with nothing. Absolutely nothing. I manifested $10,000 to leave because I didn't have a job and I didn't have a career. I didn't have, so I manifested the $10,000, but I left with a futon couch and an air mattress. That's it. And I moved here to North Carolina, to gorgeous North Carolina, from South Florida. That's where I'm from. Hey, Billy. Hey, Debbie. I don't know if you guys are still on, but I'm going to say hi anyway. Hey, Ronnie. So that was 2011. And long story short, I just wanted to give you a bullet point of my story just so that you can know a little bit of the back end of how I ended up here. So when I was here and I started to date, I kept noticing that I was attracting the same type of guy as my ex. And although at that time, this was before my healing journey, I didn't know exactly what I wanted. I did know what I didn't want. Hey, Andrea. Hey, Randy. I knew what I didn't want, and I didn't want to repeat the past. I didn't want that again because that was so painful. That was so hurtful. I was in love with my ex. I loved him. We have 2 children together. I married him for a reason. I loved him. I was madly in love with him. I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him. But after all of the things that happened, I just couldn't do it anymore. And so naturally you fall out of love with somebody who's hurt you repeatedly. So when I was dating here in North Carolina and finding that I was attracting the same type of guy, I was like, oh, hell no. What happened was I was dating this person who, so I didn't notice it in the beginning. So remember, this is before my healing journey. I didn't know about love bombing. I didn't know about any of that. He was love bombing me. So if you don't know what love bombing is, it's when somebody, they want a lot quickly. Like they want to get married quickly, or they want to move in quickly, or they want to rush and say, I love you quickly in the relationship, early on in the relationship. And that's love bombing. And so it's a form of abuse. And this is what narcissists do. They love bomb. So this certain person who I was dating was love bombing me. He wanted me to say, I love you. And I was like, but I don't love you. How am I supposed to say I love you when I don't love you? So I went to Colorado on vacation. And in Colorado, I was with my friends. And, there's a 2-hour difference because here in North Carolina, it's the East Coast. And he wanted to stay on the phone and talk. And he wanted to, take up a lot of my time. Well, I was in Colorado with my friends. And I didn't want to be on the phone. I see you every day. So, God bless you, Ducky. Hey, Val. So he was coming off super needy, and I was really turned off by it. And I finally said, look, dude. I literally called him dude. I'm like, look, dude, I'm done. I don't want to date you anymore. I don't want to be in this. I don't want to do this anymore. And he was like, no, I'm sorry. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I'm done. Forget it. Goodbye. And I'll tell you why I reacted that way. When I was dating, I had been through so much emotional disconnect during my 22 years of marriage. I was emotionally disconnected. I was emotionally disconnected from myself, and I was emotionally disconnected from these people that I dated, which is very common. And so I hadn't formed no bond with him or anything like that. Okay, so then I get back here to North Carolina, get back to, my job. I did medical sales. I worked at a hospital, and this crazy story comes up. So here's where things start to turn around. he emails me acting as his sister and saying that this person, we'll just call him Jay. This person, Jay, is in the hospital, that he attempted suicide because of me. Okay. First of all, I totally didn't believe it. I knew it was bullshit. But what happened was, this was a very similar scenario that I had gone through with my ex-husband. Eerie, I know. Because they don't know each other. And I'm pretty sure I didn't share that story with him, because it's super personal. This was before I would go on Facebook and share it with the world. So, when this happened, and like I said, he emailed me from his sister, I had a gut feeling it was bullshit. I had a gut feeling that this was a trick. This was a ploy to try to get me back. As crazy as that sounds, but again, we're not dealing with a full deck of cards. That's when I was like, okay, Denise, after that was all over, which was just one day of an event. Okay, Denise, here's the thing. These people don't know each other, but you know them. This is where a huge awareness came in to me to say, you, Denise, are the common denominator here. You are attracting these people into your life. This is your life we're talking about. So that's when I completely stopped dating, and I dove really deep into my own self-healing. And this is when I had all of these discoveries. Ooh, thank you, universe. And started connecting the dots. Started connecting the dots to who I was, why I kept attracting these types of people, what lessons they were here to teach me, what I needed to learn, and all of those things. So that's, so that's the story about that. So when I was on my healing journey, that's when I met Ray. And that's when I started to, Ray and I were friends for like a year before we even started to seriously date. So we met, had some drinks or whatever, but nothing was serious. We were basically just friends. And then even in the beginning of our relationship, Ray and I was starting to see the patterns again that I was creating. And so instead of reacting the way that I used to react, which was pointing the finger, blaming the other person, why, this and that, I looked within me. I looked inside of me and said, Denise, what can you do to change this? So that's when, again, there was more shifts coming in of me noticing it's me. Everything is me. I have to do this work. I have to change things for myself. If I want my outside world to look like the way I dream it to be, I have to change what's inside of me. I have to start showing up differently. If you don't know what I talk about how we women, because that's who I talk to, women. So guys, I love you. And some of you do this too. But my aim of talking is to women. Us women show up in mother energy a lot of the time in relationships. So what mother energy looks like is she is a woman who loves too much, gives too much, does too much. She's a people pleaser. She loves, gives, and does to the point of exhaustion in her relationships. And when you're in mother energy, you easily attract child energy. And when we're talking about narcissistic personality, very much child energy, right? They pout when they don't get their way. Everything's about them and their needs. And so when we're showing up energetically in mother energy, we attract, because mother and child go together like hand in hand, right? Always. Like energy attracts like energy. I don't make this up, folks. This is just what it is. So my clients are women who are stuck in the cycles of attracting these narcissistic relationships, these people in their life. And they're smart, like I said, they're smart women. They're successful women. And And this is like the one piece of their life that they can't figure out. They've been through therapy. They've been divorced. They're so frustrated because they can't figure this shit out. Why do I keep attracting, because narcissistic people don't show up as narcissistic. In the beginning, they show up very charming. They show up very charismatic. They show up, everything's about you. How was your day? They bring you flowers. They're very kind. They're very thoughtful. They're very liked in the community. They're even stellar people in the community. And so you see, like, they have a circle of friends. They have a circle of network. They're very successful in their career most of the time. But then once the relationships, we get comfortable in that relationship, that's when you start to see the true colors. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Jessica. Oh, geez, hold on. And Pam, saying hi to everybody. Thank you. So these are who my clients are. My clients are women who are just stuck in this cycle of attracting these types of men in their relationships. And they're super frustrated. Like, they can't figure it out. They're like, I'm a good person. I don't do drugs. I don't, I can't figure out why I keep attracting these types of men. It's insane. So what I want to invite you to and share with you is I am doing a 1-day summit. It's called Women's Awakening Global Summit, and it's going to air live on the 11th of this month. It's completely free. It's just an invitation for you to get on. It'll be through Zoom. And what we're going to share is it's a very spiritual summit. There's 3 guests. There's 3 hosts. It's myself, Mia Sands, and Amy Turner. And all 3 of us are going to be answering your questions. Mia specializes in a lot of things. She's a jack of all trades, but she's a relationship coach. She's all about self-love. Amy she calls herself the no BS. She's a therapist. The no BS therapist or the no BS coach. Anyway, they're amazing women. So the invitation to you is to join us on April 11th. It's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via Zoom. I'm going to share the link in the comments below. All you have to do is put your name and your email address in the link, and what you'll get is a page, a thank you page, and it'll give you directions on how to join us on April 11th. The second thing that I want to share with you is my Facebook group. It's called Life After Narcissism. And tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I am going to do, they call them training videos, but I don't like training. I don't like the word training because I am retraining your subconscious mind, but it's an informational video. And the video is going to be about how I help my clients. I'm going to go deep into the information of how I help my clients, how I help them break the cycle of these repeated patterns of attracting narcissistic people in their life, mainly men. So that'll be tomorrow. So I'll put both of the links in the comments here below for you to join the Women's Awakening Global Summit, which is happening on April 11th. And tomorrow I'll do an informational video. I like that better than training. Informational video, value video in my Facebook group tomorrow. And that group is called Life After Narcissism. That's my private Facebook group. All right, my loves. I hope this helped you. I got on here today and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to time myself. I'm just going to talk. I have my little power notes here on a little tiny piece of paper. I'm just going to share my story, and I'm going to share with you like who my client is and how do I help them, and then offer you these 2 invitations for you to join. So, happy Thursday, and I hope you're staying busy at home, meaning getting all the stuff done that you've been waiting and said you had no time to do. Now is the time. This is also such a beautiful time to really, just as things have slowed down for all of us globally, which is so beautiful, to just go within and work on the things that weren't working in our lives prior. I know that's what I'm doing, and I hope that's what you do. And I'm going to share that with you tomorrow as well, how we can go deeper in within to solve. You like my COVID nails? Look at that. And my COVID hair. I'm not worried about it. It'll all be over soon. And I love you. Thanks for showing up.